Have you ever wanted to explore the real life locations that inspired some of your favorite Disney movies? From the enchanting streets of Paris to the fairy tale castles of the Loire Valley, today I'm taking you on a magical journey through France, where the worlds of Ratatouille, Beauty and the Beast, and Sleeping Beauty come to life. Stick around to see how we can design a fun family adventure just for you. I'm Christina. I'm a traveler, a planner, and most importantly, a mom. I'm sharing my best tips to make traveling as a family a little less stressful. So put down your phone, pack your bags, and let's showcase the world. Hi, I'm Christina, and I'm the owner of Showcase the World Travel, a modern travel agency dedicated to helping families take a break from the busy. And one of the reasons I started Showcase the World Travel is because my love of travel started in Walt Disney World at Epcot. I knew I had to visit those cities, the countries that were there, and I love watching how much detail goes into our favorite Disney films and the areas of the parks, that you know that the Imagineers and the animators spent time in these incredible locations to bring them to life on the screen or in the parks. And now I get to help families experience the magic of Disney and real world destinations alike. So today we're going to take a deeper dive into how movies like Tangled, Beauty and the Beast, and the Aristocats were inspired by the very places we'll be visiting in France and going on a really magical adventure. For this incredible Disney-inspired France itinerary, we're going to start with 3 nights in Paris because you're not going to go to France and not spend some time in Paris, right? This is where the magic of Disney meets rich history and culture. And Paris inspired films like The Hunchback of Notre Dame, The Aristocats, and Ratatouille. The streets of Paris have been the backdrop to so many beloved stories, and in these 3 days, you'll see exactly why. So on your first day, you get there and you check into your Paris hotel. You get to do a tour of the city. I love a vintage car tour that my partners at Family Twist put on. You get these vintage Citroën cars and you get to see all of the sights like the Arc de Triomphe, ending with a fabulous dinner at the Eiffel Tower. You get on all of your sights that day, and so you're able to really dive into the Disney inspiration the next day, starting with medieval Paris, because The Hunchback of Notre Dame is everything that medieval Paris is. The story originated in 1831 when Victor Hugo published the novel, but it's set in the medieval times. This novel was really instrumental in sparking public interest in the cathedral and its preservation. It was in danger of being destroyed until his story brought it back into the public eye, which is really kind of exciting to see because the Notre Dame just reopened after its restoration after a fire a couple years ago. And so to think about the history just of the preservation is fascinating, never mind the history of the cathedral itself. But Disney animators used Notre Dame's iconic facade to inspire the design Quasimodo's cathedral home in the 1996 animated film, keeping the Gothic imposing structure as the heart of the story. So we have this great tour that our partners do where you can take a private kid-friendly walking tour through medieval Paris. You'll meet your guide at one of the last remaining medieval mansions in the city, Hotel de Sens, and you'll follow the cobblestone streets past the 12th century fortification wall that protected the city from invaders. And as you approach Notre Dame, you'll see how the cathedral's exterior mirrors the design of the animated film. The tour ends at the Conciergerie, which was once a royal palace and later a prison during the French Revolution. Along the way, my partners have created this really engaging tour with an interactive game booklet. I haven't done this tour with my daughter yet, but here's a game booklet from our experience with our partner's Family Twist in Italy. We love the game booklets because kids really stay engaged and it guides them through the history. And at the end of the tour, they'll be knighted, just like Quasimodo. So that you spend the morning exploring the medieval part of the city. Obviously, you don't want to go to Paris without heading to the Louvre. So I think this is a good afternoon to head to the Louvre, which is right kind of near the city, the island of the city, which is where a lot of the medieval history is. The next day, for Aristocats, Disney animators chose Montmartre as the setting for Duchess and her kitten's adventure, and the movie, which debuted in 1970, is based on Tom McGowan's original story about an aristocratic cat family in Paris. Why Montmartre? Well, this area's vibrant artistic community and bohemian charm made it the perfect backdrop. Disney's animators loved how the neighborhood's colorful buildings and lively ambiance reflected the film's fun, jazzy energy. And so we have a great walking tour with a game booklet here as well, where you can explore the heart of Montmartre, where famous artists like Picasso and Van Gogh once lived and worked. You can visit iconic spots like the Place des Arts, the Sacré-Cœur Basilica, and hidden gems in the area that fascinate adults and kids. Along the way, your guide will share stories of the Moulin Rouge and the cabarets in a kid-friendly way, of course, bringing the Aristocats-inspired district to life. Of course, they'll still have that game booklet to keep them engaged throughout this entire tour, because I know how difficult it can be to go on some of these tours with kids and just have them glazed over as the guide's talking to you. We work with partners who really get your kids engaged and really bring a place to life, and then the booklets just are an added extra to keep them excited about what they're learning. You can check out this video we did on, my daughter did on what she loves about tour guides and how sometimes our tour guides are the most memorable parts of the trip and the relationships we built with them. It's a really, really fun thing about traveling is being able to really talk to these locals. On the next day, we're going to kind of start transitioning out of the city, and we're going to head to the stunning Mont Saint-Michel. This magical island fortress directly inspired the Kingdom of Corona in Disney's Tangled. Even though Rapunzel was first written by the Grimm brothers, which are German and set in the Black Forest, Disney's animators were inspired by the Abbey's imposing architecture and made an ideal match for the Kingdom of Corona in the film. This abbey is perched high on a rocky island, and if you have watched Tangled at all, you will definitely recognize the connection there. Medieval beauty, these incredible cobblestone streets, and isolated setting were perfect for the story of a princess locked away in a tower. So again, we have a great tour here where your private chauffeured guide will meet you in Bayeux, and you'll enjoy a scenic drive to Mont Saint-Michel. After arriving, you explore the narrow streets leading you up to the Abbey, where your guide will share fascinating history of the island, including its use as a prison, as a sanctuary for medieval monks, and your kids will stay engaged with that game booklet. And after the tour, you'll be able to have time to explore on your own and visit the scriptorium, which is an interactive museum showcasing the island's manuscripts from when it was from the monks who were the only ones creating books at that time. Then we're going to head into the Loire Valley for 3 nights. It's the perfect place to step into a fairy tale with some of the most beautiful castles in France. Here you'll discover the true inspiration for Cinderella's castle in Walt Disney World. While Neuschwanstein Castle in Germany is often cited as Disney inspiration, the chateau in the Loire Valley, especially the Chateau de Chambord, were more closely tied to the tale's themes of royal grandeur and transformation, and you'll definitely see a visual connection as well. The Loire Valley is where Leonardo da Vinci spent his final years, and it's steeped in Renaissance history. There's a great tour that my partners, again at Family Twist, have at the Chateau de Chambord with its double helix staircase. It's a true masterpiece of French architecture. But your guide is really going to focus on the stories of the people who lived there so that it comes to life for your children. So you get to learn a little French architecture. Your kids get to hear stories of the people who lived there, all with their orange guidebook, their booklet that keeps them engaged. It's a puzzle. They have to find certain things. They have to solve the puzzle in order to earn the prize. So the tours that we partner with Family Twist are absolutely incredible. incredible. The private guide here will take you on a 2-hour tour, and they'll reveal the story behind the castle's creation by King Francis I and how it became an important symbol to the French monarchy. Not far from Chambord is the Chateau d'Eus, which is another great one to explore on your 3 days here. It's often referred to as the Sleeping Beauty Castle. This castle, with its fairy tale towers and turrets, served as the inspiration for Charles Perrault's Sleeping Beauty, which was published in 1697. And your family will explore the castle's fairy tale gardens and royal rooms. It has some beautiful, beautiful grounds, so it's great for bike riding, for a picnic lunch. A lot of fun for families to visit these castles. And after the tours, there's so many things to explore on your own. There's the gardens at the Chateau de Chenonceau, or there's bike rides around the Chateau de Villandry's famous gardens. There's so many incredible places to explore here, and we can even book you into one of the chateaus for your stay. So some of the chateaus have become hotels. And so this is a great way to really live that fairy tale. Next, you're going to head to Lyon. Spending 3 nights in the gastronomic capital of France, it's the perfect destination to dive into the world of ratatouille. And while the film is set in Paris, Lyon is where the flavors of French cuisine truly shine. The city is known for its bouchons, its traditional Lyonnaise restaurants, where you'll experience authentic French cuisine. And the dish ratatouille originated in Provence, which Lyon, located on the Rhone River, is considered the gateway to the region. So Disney animators took inspiration from Lyon's food culture, using it as the backdrop for Remy's journey from a humble rat in the gutters of Paris to the world of gourmet cuisine. So we can explore the Halles de Lyon, one of the most beautiful city markets I've ever been into. You can enjoy learning about the region's fresh products like cheese and meat and produce, finished by a cooking class to make traditional French dishes like quiche Lorraine or tarte à praline. Of course, we can also customize it, and you can learn to make ratatouille if that's something that's exciting to your family as well. We love customizing experiences for our clients. And while our partners all over the world have kind of set tours that they do again and again and again that we can highlight here, like some of the ones we've talked about with Family Twist, we can also customize any of them to you and your family. We can create something new for you and your family as well. The more we know about you and your family, the more we can create these really unique experiences. So don't miss a chance to dine at the Paul Bocuse restaurant, which is named after the French culinary legend. And it is a tie-in to the Epcot France Pavilion, where his son runs the restaurant Monsieur Paul. So it's named after Paul Bocuse, who was from Lyon and really was instrumental in bringing French cuisine to the forefront of the world's gourmet chefs. From Lyon, you're going to take a day trip to Perouge. Perouge is a medieval village near Lyon that feels like it's straight out of Sleeping Beauty. Perouge has all the fairy tale charm of Aurora's village in the movie. The cobblestone streets, half-timbered houses, and incredible charm makes it the perfect place to explore on foot. It's also where they filmed the fairy tale kind of sequence of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. So I know that's on Disney, but you might recognize Perouge from that movie. The story of Sleeping Beauty was first published by Charles Perrault in 1697, but it takes place in a medieval setting, and the Disney animators used locations like Perouge for the medieval visuals seen in the movie. The dragons Georgie and Gina are waiting for your family there. You'll see knights and villagers once walked and learned about life of the medieval French citizens. This village is like stepping into a storybook. So Georgie and Gina are little dragons, right? And the tourism office created these little dragons to help bring the medieval history of the city to life for your kids. So Gina loves stories and knows a lot about Perouge. She likes to play and tell stories to her friends, and she'll offer the children puzzles to solve, decode secret codes, while visiting the emblematic places of the village. And speaking of books like Sleeping Beauty, the Atelier Clairier is a great shop near Perouge that teaches the secrets of bookbinding. So you can come into your marvelous world and you can learn how to twig bind or create marbled paper that share your secrets. There's also calligraphy and illumination workshops in Peruge, and you can travel back in time and learn the art of beautiful feathers and beautiful colors that helped create those incredible medieval manuscripts just a few steps away from the medieval town of Peruge. Next, after your 3 days in Lyon and your day trip to Peruge, we'll head up to Colmar because Ricvier is the inspiration for Beauty and the Beast. Colmar and Ricvier are two villages in the Alsace that inspired the magical village in Disney's Beauty and the Beast. The connection to Beauty and the Beast is so clear. Both villages are filled with charming cobbled streets, half-timbered houses that transport you to the animated world of Belle and her enchanted friends. Before animating the village, Disney's animators spent a lot of time in Ricvier, which is just a short distance from the Black Forest of Germany. So the Alsace region, the history here is fascinating, but I don't want this to be like an 8-hour video. But the history of Alsace is really, really interesting because at some points it belonged to Germany, some points it belonged to France. It's now French again, but it is very closely tied to the stories of the Black Forest because the Black Forest is just on the other side of the Rhine River. And the village's fairy charm captures the essence of the films. The Grimm brothers were from the region and many of their fairy tales have roots here, making it the perfect place for Disney animators to draw inspiration. So we can arrange a guided walking tour through Colmar. We can do a day trip out to Ricvier, where your family will engage in a fairy tale themed scavenger hunt to discover the hidden gems while learning about the history of the medieval village. And don't miss the Parc du Petit Prince, which is an amusement park based on the Little Prince, where kids can enjoy rides and interactive exhibits. After 2 or 3 days in the Alsace, you'll head back to Paris, because that's your gateway back home, right? Your international airport is Charles de Gaulle. So your final day, you'll take a short trip to Versailles on your way from the Alsace back into Paris, home to the magnificent Palace of Versailles, and the grand Baroque and Rococo architecture is definitely the inspiration for Cogsworth and the wardrobe in Disney's Beauty and the Beast. The intricate gilded designs and lush gardens are perfect examples of the opulence that influenced the look of these beloved characters. And as I always say, if it's not Baroque, don't fix it. That is one of my favorite lines from any Disney movie and Cogsworth. And so anytime I am in a Baroque palace, I probably say it way more times than anyone in my party would like. So whether you're strolling through the Hall of Mirrors or exploring the stunning gardens, Versailles is the perfect way to wrap up your fairy tale inspired journey through France. If you're ready to bring these magical fairy tales to life, Showcase the World Travel is here to help you plan the perfect family vacation. Whether you want to explore all of these fairy tale inspired places, if you want to pick and choose, if you want to explore them by car or with a private driver, we can customize the trip to fit your family's needs. So let's make your own fairy tale adventure a reality. Please hit the button to like and subscribe so that you get more Disney inspired travel tips to both the parks and the incredible worlds that inspired some of our favorite stories. And don't forget to take a break from the busy.
Need help planning your next family vacation? Visit us at showcasetheworld.com to request a quote or schedule a free vacation consultation. Want more great travel tips? You'll find those there too.